How we doing there, YouTubers? Cybernex Shark with another new movie review for you. So let's go right into this review and see what it's about. The other day, I had the chance of watching an interesting new movie on my list of 1001 movies to see before you die. This particular movie is actually a newer film that came out in 2010 called The Social Network. Now, The Social Network is based on the story of the founding of Facebook. And originally, I don't know if you know this, but originally it was called The Facebook. After it went really big, that's when they changed it to just Facebook. If you did not know that, you did not know that cool little tip. So, this movie has an all-star cast. Really interesting cast. Lots of great actors, lots of great actresses involved in it. I really feel that the actors really were the main premise of the film because the main characters of the actual story are men in general. But this film was interesting. It was different. It was directed by an amazing director, Mr. David Fincher. Now, David Fincher you might recognize from such big films as the amazing Brad Pitt film, Fight Club. Now, Fight Club, woo, that's a great movie. If you have not seen it, definitely check that one out. Such a good David Fincher film. Really amazing. Probably one of his best. Just all around really amazing film. Just simply for the fact that it's just one of a kind, that movie. And it really showed the capable talent of the awesome David Fincher. Because David Fincher, I just think, is an amazing director. He's made a lot of great films. I just feel that Fight Club is his best one. So, we have in the movie, like I said, a really great cast. And the great cast is a nice general cast that really rounds each other out. And in other movies, I feel that this cast is really amazing. I mean, don't get me wrong, they acted really well in the film, but the film itself I don't think was really there at all. But this awesome cast starts off with the great, awesome Jesse Eisenberg. You might recognize Jesse Eisenberg from such films as Zombieland, starring the awesome Woody Harrelson and the beautiful Emma Stone and Abigail Breslin, which was a really good zombie film. And hopefully, I'm hoping that they'll make a sequel, because that movie was just so awesome. You might also recognize Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor from the Zack Snyder film, Batman vs. Superman, as well, which was a really good film. I really disappointed in how much the critics killed Batman vs. Superman, which I feel that movie was amazing. I actually ended up seeing it 3 times in theaters simply for the fact I thought it was such an amazing film and a great new start to the DC universe. And Jesse Eisenberg's character in that as Lex Luthor was just awesome. And that acting that he showed in those 2 films, I feel really were encased in this film. Because, I mean, even though that this film was before Batman vs. Superman, it was around the same time that he did Zombieland, and I felt Zombieland was probably one of his best acting talents at the time. But I thought he was decent in it. I thought he played, the part really well, playing the main character. I mean, they had him playing him more in a different type of light than what the real story, they say, is how he acted. But I thought Jesse Eisenberg did a really good job. The movie itself, I just feel it wasn't there for him, and his great performance just wasn't enough to make the movie as good as I thought it could have been. We also have in the film the awesome, the talented Mr. Justin Timberlake. Now, Justin Timberlake, you might recognize from, great bands as like NSYNC, and then as a solo career that he started in the early 2000s. But a couple movies I thought that he was really good in, that he was involved with, were such film Southland Tales, which I thought was an interesting flick. That was very different, and several stories embarked into one. Very interesting film. But I thought he did a really good job in that, too. But his character in the Social Network was very interesting, too. It wasn't a very big part, but it was enough to give you kind of an idea of what the guy that began Napster was like, and how he played into the story. And, Justin Timberlake, I think, is a fun actor. He does good comedy. and I thought it was a decent, role. I thought he did a decent job and gave the movie some interesting flavor, most definitely. We also have in the film the awesome, the amazing Mr. Andrew Garfield. Now, Andrew Garfield you might recognize from such awesome films as Hacksaw Ridge that just came out last year, which was nominated for a whole bunch of Academy Awards. And that movie, oh my goodness, he was amazing in that film. It was such a great film. He really used his acting struts in that film, and I thought he did an amazing job. Then you also might recognize him from the awesome, the amazing Spider-Man films, the 1 and 2, which, I thought he did a decent job as Peter Parker. I really enjoyed him in those. I was really surprised they didn't do a third one. I mean, Tobey Maguire got to do 3, but he didn't, unfortunately. But the new Spider-Man, Mr. Tom Holland, I thought he's doing a good job. I really enjoyed his caricature of it too. But I really liked Andrew Garfield. I thought he's a decent actor, and I really enjoy his moods, his acting ability, his different expressions that he really brings out in his performances. And I thought he did a decent job in this film too. He came off kind of whiny in the film a little bit too for the character that he was playing. But at the same time, I think that's just how that character was kind of portrayed in the book that it's based off of. And so it wasn't like they did, gave him more justice than he should have. But it was definitely a decent and, good type of acting position that he did. He did a good job. It wasn't that bad. And it was, even though the movie itself I didn't feel was that great, he did a good job in the film. So, now, if you're not familiar with what The Social Network is about, The Social Network, like I said, is basically the story of founding the giant platform of Facebook, basically. And the movie basically entails from the whole legal procedure that the main character goes through with one of the founders, and basically the backstory to, getting Facebook made, what it originally was called, what was all involved, what happened between him and the people that were involved with it, and basically the outcome at the end of it. So, I mean, it was definitely an interesting take on the Facebook story, and that was really interesting. But at the same time, I think that this is probably, like I said, not David Fincher's best film. I think they could have done so much more with it, and I don't believe that and feel that it deserved all the Oscar noms it got. Because I don't think anything of it was Oscar-worthy. It was definitely, like I said, an interesting film, but nothing of, Oscar-worthy, I think. I didn't see what all the hype was. Definitely, something I would recommend to check out for yourself, see how it is. Definitely not something I would own. So I give this one 4 Golden Movie Boxes up. It's a little better than horrible, and it's not as good as good. It's like in the middle there. So 4 is kind of my range there for that. So it was definitely, like I said, worth a watch. Definitely give it a try. Check it out. See for yourself. And see what all the hype was about. It's definitely, interesting watch. Definitely. So that's it for this movie review, folks. As always, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share. If this is your first time here, don't forget to hit that bell notification button after you subscribe so you don't miss an awesome video. And as always, keep your eyes out for any new or older videos I might have made that you haven't seen yet. And as always, please leave your comments down below. If you have any ideas for a type of review you'd like to see, or an idea for any other type of video you'd like to see, let me know down in the comments. Let me know how you think of this video. And as always, catch you in the next one.